Good afternoon. This is Ken Long at Tortoise Capital, and I want to talk about the 8 imbalances of a trader that I feel all the time. I want to talk about how those make me feel unbalanced by defining them, talking about the feelings and then the consequences. And then I'm going to go through a process of becoming rebalanced with the help of some friends. The first one is a feeling of overreaching, and I define that as a feeling of going beyond my limits, beyond the limits of the system, above my skills, beyond the limits of what the market will reasonably give me, beyond the limits of my plan. And it normally has to do with an impatience or a feeling of greed that I have to get it right now, and that if I don't, then I'm going to miss it. I'm missing the gift. The next imbalance is one of hesitation. And that's one where I have a plan and I've rehearsed it and it's good to go. And I nevertheless cannot take the trade. I'm frozen into inaction. And a lot of that is fear and the uncertainty and memories of all the times that it hasn't worked, even when I've been prepared. And it feels terrible. The next one is rigidity. And that is an overemphasis on being strict, not adapting to what the market is doing, but remaining doctrinally compliant with my rules above all other reasons, that the rule becomes more important than what I'm seeing or feeling or believing. And it feels stiff and unnatural. Distraction is when I have a plan and I know what to do, but I just can't concentrate on it. Something is pulling me away. It unfocuses me. I look in a different place. And I'm thinking about other things. Anything but eyes on the prize. And I just feel like I need a change. Something else has to happen. Anything else than just staying here and doing as I'm supposed to do. I just can't take it to simply do what only I'm supposed to do. The revenge trade happens when I had a plan. It's supposed to work, and for whatever reason it didn't, and I feel like I should have gotten something. Maybe I tweaked it and I didn't do it exactly right, or I missed the signal, went in the wrong direction, and my ego just gets in the way, and I just have to get even. I'm going to show you that I'm going to get this done even without my rules and systems. And it's more important for me to win than to trade well. And this is a feeling of anger and getting even and something beyond the simple goals of a system. It has something to do with identity, I think. Impulsivity happens when I have an unplanned reaction to some trigger event. Am I tired? Could be. Distracted, maybe, but I'm surprised and I just have to do something without thinking, without even rehearsing. It's not even so much a choice, it is relinquishing choice. Perfectionism is some kind of commitment to being needlessly precise, maybe because I spent so much time working on that thing and I feel like I have to really get it down to the final detail and I have to obey that need to be perfect. And maybe I feel like it's my discipline that's at work, and I want to honor that overprotectionism more than is needed. And then finally, this is the feeling of isolation, because this is a lonely profession. Am I the only one seeing this? Am I the only person that goes through this? Why am I alone? Why can't I talk to anybody about this? I'm just not worthy of the attention. I'm not worthy of success. All of those 8 imbalances are like 8 really powerful horses. The horse is my shadow animal, and it just pulls me against my will in any direction that it wants to, and I never know which one is going to be it, but they're all pulling together, and taken as a collection, it just doesn't feel like I can get it all done or control any of them, much less one of them. The consequences of these are not so much in isolation as they are taken together. That the danger of yielding to any of these imbalances is that the result might even be good. I might have made the trade and violated all my rules and yielded to the imbalances, and then I win, and then it's like, well, why am I worrying about my rules at all? Why don't I just go for what I feel? And so a good trade, a good resulting trade could reinforce bad habits. And a bad result, the danger of that is that I'm losing money. All of these tend to distort the zero state lens that I want to adopt, where I've integrated all these pieces and parts of myself. And so I get a distorted view of the world and a distorted view of myself. The other problem with these things is that when I recognize the imbalance and I try to take corrective action immediately to get back to the zero state, that the counter reaction could itself be and then balance in the other direction. So like overreaching and hesitation tend to work together. Go too far, don't go far enough. Rigidity to a common set of rules, balanced or overcome by distraction, chasing a different set of rules. The revenge, which is a planned effort focused on getting even. Impulsivity, I'm not even thinking, I'm just knee-jerk reacting. And then the perfectionism, this concentration on trying to be just right in the eyes of others versus the feeling of isolation that there's not even anybody else paying attention. So these things are at times paired, and the counter reaction to one of them can take you just as far in the other direction, and it might even be an overreaction. And that leads to feelings of regrets and shame that I can't even control myself, and feelings of embarrassment. What if somebody saw me being this incorrect? That would be terrible. It would set up a bad example for others that are trying to learn from me. And now I feel like I'm not only harming myself, I'm hurting them and their efforts to be good. The overcorrection, as I mentioned before, as I try to get back to the zero state in a feeling of emotion, maybe I'm going to go beyond the point of balance and overcorrect. And now it starts oscillating and reinforcing. And maybe the quick fix to fix the imbalance is something that's not directing attention to the root cause of what's going on. It's a superficial treatment. And with enough cycles and enough back and forth, feelings of despair start creeping in, which is not an imbalance, but it's almost a conditional state of nature in which nothing seems to work, and I already know it's going to fail before I even try, and so I can't even commit to it or do my best work. And so all of these consequences are the net sum of the responses to each of these imbalances, and all of these imbalances, and this endless dance of tearing myself apart and being shredded on the inside. That's harmful. That really hurts. And yet, I know that if I can get rebalanced, I know I can get rebalanced. And I can replace these feelings with the feeling of being rebalanced. And that there's a path to do that. And that I can describe exactly what that feels like. And I can try to do this the right way. And so the team that I have that helps me